This summer, you have the opportunity to join the Big Sioux Riders Adventure Ride, trailing through Sioux City on July 5th. The event is like a treasure hunt on two wheels. There will be prizes and awards given to top finishers, and all bikers will be given a pancake breakfast before the ride. Proceeds from the adventure ride will benefit Opportunities Unlimited. Talking more about this exciting event with me today is Brian Hawsey and Jim Johnson. Thanks for being with us today. And first off, Brian, tell us a little bit about this ride and what it will entail.
Well, it's a little bit different than a poker run. We changed our format last year. It's the easiest way to describe it, as you said, a treasure hunt, but it's not just a treasure hunt. It's a ride. What we do is after you get registered and give you breakfast, our rally master, Jim here, has designed a set of sheets that we give everybody, and there's a bunch of points, interesting places people can go and get information to write down on these sheets. And the key is that we give them so many places to go that there's no way they can get to all of them within the time. So the riders need to decide where they're going to ride to. They can ride as themselves or they can ride in a group and try to maximize the number of points for the day.
Okay, I want to see how much I can ask you here because I know there's some secrets that you don't want to tell everyone that's going to be.
Jim has all the secrets. I don't know what they are.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, what do people have to bring with them?
Really all they need to bring is themselves and their motorcycle and an attitude to have some fun. It's a format a little bit different than a poker run, and it should be a lot of fun for people.
Now, we live in the Midwest, and already we're in a wet season. Now, what about the weather? What happens if it doesn't cooperate?
The ride will go on regardless of the weather. Hopefully, we'll have a nice day, and if it's not so nice, people won't get to as many places as they would on a nice day.
Okay. And Jim, do you want to kind of tell us about some of those secrets, especially what we can talk about on television?
We'll be in the Loess Hills, exclusively up and down the backbone of the Loess Hills. It basically runs from just a little bit north of Sioux City, Westfield area, down through Missouri Valley. We'll be looking for different points of interest on that ride. I'm setting out all of the points of interest. They're all observable from the seat of your motorcycle. They're not complicated. There won't be a great deal of gravel on this route. There'll be some turnouts that may be on gravel, but they'll basically be on hard surface roads in the Loess Hills, some of the best riding in this area. We'll register at Box in the morning, 10 to noon, on July 5th. We'll get started after pancake breakfast, start collecting points at the various stops, and wind up back at the Icky Nickel by what time in the evening do we want to back there, Brian?
They have to be back by 6 p.m. They're welcome back anytime, but they need to be back by 6 p.m.
Okay.
But the Loess Hills is basically the backbone of the ridges that run between here and the Missouri border. And a number of small towns in that area. All have been very open to having riders throughout that area during the summer. And the roads are curvy and the scenery is beautiful. And as you mentioned, we've had a wet spring. It's all green now. I've been down there a lot in the last few months looking for points of interest. And it'll be a pretty day.
Now talk about why this is such a great area to have an event like this.
We don't have in Iowa or Nebraska or South Dakota a lot of curves on our roads. Now we have that mile system where we have this gridiron that lays out throughout the entire state. It doesn't work in the Loess Hills. Those roads have curves and corners, and an interesting ride is always available down there. The riding in the Loess Hills, I think, is the best in the area. I know a lot of riders that travel several hundred miles to ride in Arkansas or ride in Colorado. This is as good as it gets right in our backyard.
Okay. And in previous years, now this is your 5th annual, what has been the turnout like?
The turnout has varied, and we had one year that we were rained out, nearly snowed out. We've moved it to the middle of the summer for a couple of reasons. The weather is generally better. We would expect a turnout in the neighborhood of 60 to 100 riders. It's not a race. It's not everyone going to the same exact locations. They can lay out their own route. They can ride individually or as a group. And I would expect that we'll have groups of 3 to 5 leave at a time, and we'll have a few solo riders. It varies with who you come with and who you hook up with over at the startup point at Box.
Okay. Now, have you guys changed the format over the years for this year's?
This is the same format we used last year. It's modeled after a program Brian found up in Minnesota. You want to talk a little bit about how we came up with what we're doing?
I've kind of covered it, but yeah, it comes from what they call a road rally format. And there's various road rallies all over the country, and I've ridden in a few, and Jim's ridden in a few. This is a more calmed down version of that. Those are very competitive. I know they have them with cars as well as motorcycles, and they're usually quite a bit longer and much more competitive events.
Okay. Now, can we talk about some of the prizes that would be awarded?
We contact local merchants, and we get support from the local motorcycle dealers. We're up on Highway 75 starting out at Box, but that's next to Roosters, Harley-Davidson, Buell, just down the street from the Honda and Suzuki dealer, which is just down the street from the Yamaha dealer. They all support this kind of ride because it supports their industry. We'll have local merchants who will donate prizes, including several restaurants that will donate certificates for dining in their establishments. It's a ride about charity, however. It's not about, no one's going to go home wealthy from this ride, but hopefully they'll have a good time, and they'll have a chance to compete and also earn a little prize.
And certainly it's for a good cause as well.
Yeah.
All the proceeds do go to OU from the ride, so.
Okay. And again, that's on July 5th, and that will start in the morning about 9 a.m. or so?
Registration runs between 9 and 11 a.m. at Bach BMW Victory KTM, as Jim said, right next to the Harley-Davidson dealership. The end point will be at the Icky Nickel, which is right down the highway.
Okay.
It's a nice location. People out of town can camp there, either or both nights.
Okay, and there's also that pancake breakfast as well that will run from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and the ride will go till about 6 or so.
Right.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for being with us today, Brian and Jim. Next on our show today, we will be talking more with Opportunities Unlimited and the Adventure Ride after this. And welcome back to Focus on the Community. In our first segment, we were talking about the Big Sioux Riders Adventure Ride on July 5th, and that is all to benefit the Opportunities Unlimited here in Sioux City facility. And with me now is Amber Clausen, who is the Director of Community Relations at Opportunities Unlimited, I should say. Now, Amber, tell us more about the facility you have here in town.
I would love to. Opportunities Unlimited is oftentimes referred to as the best kept secret in Siouxland, which is exactly what I don't want us to be. Sioux City should be very proud of having something like OU in its community, and so I love to get out and spread the word, and it's other organizations like the Big Sioux Riders that really help us do that. But we are located on Glen Oaks Boulevard in the north side. We have a community center that is open to the public. It has a gym and a basketball facility. You can rent it for baby showers, bridal showers, things like that. But it also houses our administrative offices. and our waiver services department. And then we have 9 residential homes that line Glen Oaks Boulevard. In each of our homes, we have adult clients that have suffered a traumatic brain injury. And then we also serve over 135 children that have special needs.
Okay, and who are some of the people you serve?
Like I had said, we serve adults with a traumatic brain injury. So that may be someone that was involved in a terrible car accident, possibly a motorcycle accident, a bad fall, someone that has had a stroke, that afterwards they were not fully able to recover. So instead of moving back home with mom or dad or husband or wife, they come to a facility for their care. At Opportunities Unlimited, we work on rehabilitation. So we have cognitive therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and vocational therapy. So we help our adult clients become as independent as possible after their accident. In the meantime, they live at our facility. They are responsible for their cooking, their cleaning, doing the acts of daily living that they are capable of doing as much as they can. Our goal is getting our clients community employed again. A lot of them had full-time jobs before their accident. They may have been a banker or a pilot, or quite a few high school and college students come to us after a brain injury as well. So we help them maximize their potential after their accident.
Okay. And now before the show, you told me that you know a lot about this traumatic brain injury. What is the likelihood of that?
I wouldn't say I know a lot, Tony. I do know that traumatic brain injury is the signature wound of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's somewhat of an epidemic in our soldiers. They're coming home with more and more brain injuries. A lot of that has to do with them being close to an IED when it explodes. It is the largest debilitating thing that can happen to a child. I want to say the most deaths occur in children under 16. It's a result of a brain injury from a bad fall. Maybe they rolled over on their four-wheeler, or maybe had a jet ski accident. With adults, it seems to be more common than people realize. We're full at 38 residents, and we have waiting list all the time for a facility like ours. So brain injury is something that you could never anticipate. Leaving here tonight, it could be as simple as getting in a car accident. So,
and it changes someone's life forever.
It really does.
And it's so sad that it works that way, too. And this event that you guys are holding will certainly benefit Opportunities Unlimited, the Big Sioux Riders Adventure Ride.
Very much so. We're very excited about being a part of that ride. One of the stops along the ride is OU, so if you're interested in learning about what we do, we'd love to have you. And it's so cool because it's the same day as Saturday in the park. So if you're from out of town and you're considering coming into Sioux City, I recommend it. We have a place set up for you to camp. You can do the ride during the day and still make it to the headliner at night. So we've got a full weekend planned.
All right. Well, Amber, thanks for speaking with us today. And one more time, the Big Sioux Riders Adventure Ride will be coming up on July 5th. Registration is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., so you want to get there early, and there's a pancake breakfast. That's our show today. Thanks for watching.